Hey, let's bring him down to the ring now. You just mentioned him, Agent Confidential. Here he comes to the ring to lead us off. Hey, tell us about that island. That's interesting, brother.
Hey, guys, you got to remember on the island, the Gus Malzahn buyout
started the whole thing. It's all Auburn's fault.
On it. That's right. Hugh Freeze paid for the tiki bar, but it's Jimbo Fisher's buyout that bought the airplane that flies down there, guys. So it's all the SEC schools pretty well covered it. So how you guys doing this morning?
Hey, Mike, we are pumped up. Let me ask you this: can Hugh Freeze get a tee time on Buyout Island? How's the course down there?
He is a charter member of the golf course down there. He actually controls the tee times.
Oh, wow!
So he gets, he can play wherever he wants.
So you're saying that the golf course operation is going to get screwed up if Hugh's in charge for sure? Because I'm sure he's this close to having it perfect.
Oh, it's really, really perfect. And, I hear that he goes on Sunday afternoons, he goes and watches people tee off, similar to what he did when he was a coach at Auburn. But that's unreported. So, hey, before we get into football, guys, I need a report from the Barons game Wednesday night. I mean, how'd that go? You guys look like rock stars.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and it was a Wednesday night, and Legend, there were a lot of folks out there.
Yeah, if you hadn't been out to the Birmingham Barons, out to Regent Stadium out there, Regents Field, you are missing out. It is quite a sight. It's just like the major leagues right here in Birmingham. I really enjoyed it.
Did you have fun with the dogs?
Don and all the dogs showed up. Don and all the dogs
Bark in the park, man. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple interviews.
Don won the weenie race. Don won the weenie race.
He was a lock,
He won the weenie race.
Yeah, they gave him the inside draw. So, but it was a lot of fun, and I tell you, they do a great job. As you know, Mike, the lifeblood of minor league baseball is the promotional calendar, and these folks we had, and we'll have on the show today. Izzy, the marketing director, and John Cook will be joining us at the 9:00 hour.
Nice.
To give us the rundown on what's happening this week there. But man, they run an unbelievable promotion calendar, and it's. I don't know how they put all that stuff together. They've got 4 or 5 things going on every game, not just one.
I know. It's just amazing. But, hey, Legend, I got to tell you, seeing you in Orioles orange, it made a bunch of my UT friends up here wonder just what the heck was going on.
Well, I was in the skies. I'm a scout for the Orioles part-time, and I have to go into the skies, Those that recognize me, they almost have a heart attack because they think I'm wearing Auburn orange. The Orioles orange is so close to it.
Or Tennessee.
The
anti-Alabama.
No.
Orange is the worst color.
Don't make me burn it.
Yeah, impossible in terms of Alabama fan.
My folks up here were like, man, that's UT orange. What's your boy Legend doing down there? So that was kind of cool. Hey, so guys, I had a really interesting DM this week from an Auburn fan who's probably listening right now. He first heard about the book on Game Time, and he's listening to the Audible book. And he said his wife worked for someone very prominent around Auburn, which I think is code for donates a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that person insists that Auburn never offered Lane Kiffin the job before Hugh Freeze was hired. And I told him, I said, that's almost beside the point. Because in this business, a rumor doesn't have to be true. It just has to be believable.
Yeah. And you do a good job of explaining that in the book and we've said it for a long time. All of these rumors that get out, all of these, there's discussions going on with, DeBoer now, of course, is prominent in the headlines coming out this past week and saying, well, I never had any discussions with the University of Michigan. But you point out, Mike, that he probably didn't have any discussions, but discussions were definitely occurring.
Absolutely. That's what we call plausible deniability in the business. So, in the case of when, Lane used the Auburn rumors before they hired Freeze just as leverage to get that big contract extension and more NIL money at Ole Miss. So, what we talk about in the book is leverage is a lot more important than facts. And that's what we're trying to talk about there. But hey, just, a couple of things this week in the business side of things. I mean, we saw that conferences still aren't running things. The courts are involved, television partners, donors, private equity's looking. So my thought this week is college sports might be the only billion-dollar industry where nobody can tell us who the CEO is.
That's a good point. I mean, who the hell's in charge? I contend it's network television. I think they make the calls, yep. And I think Tony Petitti is the secret agent. I call him Tony Soprano. Yep. I think Tony Soprano is the guy pulling all the strings because he's the double agent coming from the TV background. And as we talk about, Mike, the veil of college football being tradition and emotion and loyalty and pageantry, all those things are just a facade because really Petitti doesn't give a damn about all the traditional things about college football. He's just trying to grow it into the biggest NFL, the second industry he can possibly achieve.
Yep, you are exactly right. What we talk about in the book is a lot of people think that college football is a sport that makes a lot of money. But what college football has become is a money business that just happens to have a side college football off to the side. That's what's happening in your boy Tony Soprano at the Big Ten. That's exactly what he's doing. He's sitting over at the bada bing pulling the strings, making stuff happen. So that's really pretty interesting. So a couple other things that happened pretty cool this week, guys. As you mentioned before, Skip, I loved being on your Zoom call. That was really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that coming up here in just a little bit. Should be a lot of fun. And then I got to give Chris Childers a lot of credit from the Show Pony University. He's on Mad Dog and a couple others on Sirius XM. I finished his Show Pony University this week. And guys, I spent 40 years in boardrooms and leading commercial organizations. But let me tell you, getting better at this radio, video storytelling, man, that's exercising a completely different muscle. You guys do it really well, and I'm trying to learn.
Well, you're a fast learner. You were a great interview, and we can't wait to promote the book more. I am an agent confidential. I'm not going to be in the shadows. I'm out front saying if you're a college football fan, you've got to get this book and read it. Mike did a fantastic job of telling you about the business of college football, legend, and it is very involved and extremely interesting.
Yeah, I read in the book that you said that no decision was made while Coach Saban was a coach without the AD considering what Nick Saban would do in the situation. I really thought that was a lot of power given to Nick Saban. Can you explain that, why you put that in your book? I read that.
Yeah, so you're talking about the ADs when they were hiring other coaches, or are you talking about the AD at Alabama, legend?
No, I'm talking about AD hiring other coaches. You said in the book that no one made a decision that they didn't ask themselves, what would Nick Saban do first?
That is exactly what happened because, what would happen is these coaches, his coaching tree kept growing. So, they would either contact Saban or they would, work through Jimmy Sexton as to what Saban thought about a coach. So if Saban said something positive, then, that shot that coach up the ladder. If Saban wasn't overly positive or didn't say anything at all, it pretty well would kill that coach. And it wasn't just for head coaching hires. It was for coordinator hires. He had not only his coordinators go get head coaching jobs, but he also had position coaches who would then leave and go get coordinator jobs. So Saban's influence was massive, and that's why we saw his tree continue to grow extensively. But, we call that character in the book Sabes, and we said Sabes didn't talk a lot, but he carried a lot of influence, and he still does, guys.
Absolutely.
But no, that's a really good point, Legend, and it's something that, that is really happening behind the scenes. So really kind of really, really cool to see. Guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to make one quick announcement.
Make it quick. We got other callers online on hold.
Real quick, July 31st, we're doing the first bourbon and college football event up here at Tennessee Hills Distillery in Northeast Tennessee. So that's going to be a really fun evening with some brown liquor and talking about football and not a screaming sports show. But I got 2 more in the works, one in Birmingham, one in Tuscaloosa. So stay tuned, guys.
Awesome.
We're going to bring the road show down to y'all's part of the neck of the woods.
We're looking forward to that. Can't wait to air the interview this morning on ABC 3340, Mike. We appreciate all of your contributions to our show and your contribution to college football, period, by explaining to us the business of the sport.
Agent Confidential. If you hadn't got the book, get it. If you want to know what's going on in college football today, it is the book to read.